There you go. All right. I think we should be good. Oops. That. All right. Alright, what's up, guys? Okay, I think we're ready this time. Hopefully no monitors closing mid-stream multiple times again. Persona 3's 93 Canuck dollars. Yeah, man, welcome to the future. Should compete in the Dark Souls 3 tourney? Maybe you should compete in the Dark Souls 3 tourney. Why would I compete? I haven't played Dark Souls 3 in over 2 years. And I don't think I'll play again, honestly. Just like how I competed in Rainbow Six for 8 years, and then at some point it was time to move on, and I don't plan on coming back to Rainbow Six. Even though it's probably my favorite game ever. Yo, Memroot, no, I've seen your I've seen your, you know, what you wrote on Discord, but I have not checked it out. What is it about exactly? To compete in Demon Souls? Right. Actually level up. Almost forgot to level up again. I'm using different stat allocation now. I find it to be a little more efficient. Because, you know, usually what I do is I'll have like 18 dex and then 38 end. But right now I just like to use 14 dexterity and 42 endurance. It's basically more optimal when you're using dedicated strength weapons. It's just that to use the great bow you have to bite the bullet and use the ugly bird helmet. You almost crapped your pants at work? Now this is something important. Mungus, please tell me more about it. You know what we'll use today? Fucking dishonest fucking Pada. With Flame Strike, why not? I'm waiting for Mungus to tell us more about his story, though. Oh, you really gotta try Trusting Sword block cancel R1 on Iron Eye at some point with X3 standard attack up, X3 physical +2 relics. It's like 1.62 damage multiplier for two-handed R1s. Dude, I know that standard attack up is like the best. I used to have that relic for Wilder, and I used to basically just stagger R1s just for one relic, and it was more DPS than just spamming any other attack. But I definitely believe it. I believe it that, you know, I didn't know you could stack the standard attack up, though. Because I noticed with, like, some relics, like, you can't stack it. R9 because on Executioner you mostly find katanas? I see. Okay, Mungus, important. I had a Dairy Queen and protein shake for breakfast after drinking too much late night. There's a storm in my slacks. Thank you, Mungus. You will be remembered. I heard that Switch 2 doesn't have Wi-Fi 6, so latency will be flat worse for Duskblood. Bro, that's so sad. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't think I'll buy Duskblood because I'm not getting a Switch 2. I mean, I'll get Duskblood if it's a time exclusive, right, and it comes like later for other platforms or PC. Then I'll buy it like afterward, like after the fact, basically to play the superior version of Duskblood. But as it stands right now, with the current path of release for Duskblood, I don't even think I'm gonna get it. I think I'm gonna skip it. Doc has internet, maybe that'll help. Yeah, I mean, for anyone that plays it, of course you definitely want to play docked with an Ethernet cable, but you know, that's not gonna stop other people from playing Wi-Fi, right? That's basically what the original statement means. That combo. Wow! Dude. My health just fucking vanished, dude. We almost fucking lost this first invasion right here, right now. That's fucked up. Holy shit, did you guys see that? That was insane. Yo, what is... That was weird. Man, these guys ain't playing around. two scrubs just going through the game, like, Elden Ring is fucking brutal, man. Okay, that's it. Or gankers, outplayed and saved, man. Okay, that's going down. Okay, we made it. Dude, even Para won't save you from the insane blender we fucking almost died to, like, right at the start. I swear, even the movement alone is so much better in standard Elden Ring than Nightreign. You like the wall climbing? Yeah, I definitely prefer the movement in base Elden Ring. I mean, Nightreign is just, like, tackled on. Like, clearly it's not... Like, it's basically just a bunch of reused thing, like, repurposed, basically. What I like about Nightreign movement-wise is the grappling hook from Wilder. That would probably not translate well for PvP at all, but I actually enjoyed that. Otherwise, the rest, like, I really don't like the super sprint, the climbing, all that stuff. Like, I feel like it makes the game, like, not as fun gameplay-wise. But it's partly due to the fact that none of the enemies are really made to account for that crazy movement, really. So, like, you're fighting enemies and you can, like, outrun a lot of attacks instead of, like, having to time a dodge, for instance. That's really the main issue. Like, if you had the game built from scratch with that movement speed, you'd have, like, you'd basically need to have all the attacks have crazy forward momentum to account for it. It's like the whole thing would need to be redesigned. And it would be, like, quite the endeavor, and quite frankly, there's no guarantee that it might not break everything and be completely ass, too. By the way, what's up, Clevy? How you doing, bro? Your roof collapsed, you need my lawyer expertise? Bro, I'm no lawyer. That's crazy, dude. How did your roof collapse? You like Super Sprint more than Torrent? I'll agree with you there. Yeah, I'm not particularly a fan of Torrent because it's just like tedious, right? To use Torrent, and like once you're on Torrent, you're basically taking the taxi. You're not gonna fight anything, even if you can technically fight a bit on Torrent. It's not like, it doesn't feel good to be on horseback in this game compared to like Red Dead Redemption, where like, you know, so many resources went into like crafting horses to make them like a key part of the game, for instance, right? It's definitely not like that with Elden Ring. Like, even though like fighting on Torrent is actually very strong because you outrun enemies and you do more damage, it's definitely bad. Like, it's not good gameplay. You're curious if that talisman's still a Nightreign? That's actually a good question. If the fucking Torrent extra damage tally would be a Nightreign, that would be so funny. I mean, I'm sure they probably removed it. Like, come on now. Like, they would need to have like 0 fucking QA testing to not remove that. Wish Torrent could roll. So true, dude. Okay, there's a few of them here. Let's start with the one that's separated. Oh, he's not really separated much anymore. Oh, okay, there you go. I think what's good about playing with Pada today is we're gonna get to see like how do weapons compare, like some of the top setups. Because I don't, like, even though I have Pada like readily accessible in my inventory, I rarely use it. I usually only pull it out like very in very specific like rare situations, whereas right now I plan on using Pada for most of this stream for today. Okay, we have one with BHS, we have one with Braga, and we have one with Flame Strike. We actually have all the Padas that I'd want to use. Yo, what's up, Canuck? How you doing, bro? By the way, Canuck, and Cleve, if you're still here, I read or watched a vid somewhere that basically said that the enhanced bosses for Nightreign are coming this month, apparently. Oh, I think it was a Zyostorm vid, there we go. Yeah, apparently it might be coming this month. So, can't wait for that. And apparently there's a third phase for bosses. That's the big thing. A third phase for bosses is going to be interesting. That's going to be cool, dude. If it starts to get challenging again, that'd be really nice. It's like, you know, the Libra Beast was like really challenging, you know, the first time you fought it. And then, you know, like after a while you start to get like a blueprint for like how to fight it. You're like, okay, like keep your ult for when he does the bubble, then, you know, break him after that. Jesus Christ, dude. And the paras are insane. I know you guys didn't know that. Like, this is news to everyone, right? But yes, para are actually super strong. So that was a nice finisher. You feel disgusting when you use para, it's so easy. You know what, Alex? That's also the reason why I pretty much never use them, because it does not feel rewarding to use para. Because para has so much forward momentum, it attacks so fast because so little stamina. Like, there's basically no thought process that goes into using this thing. It's like the perfect brain-dead weapon. Like, does not take, like, or takes very little skill to use. I'd say it probably takes no skills to use. And you get extremely good result out of it. Like, you just spam running attacks, and you basically, like, prevent your opponent from ever attacking you back. And on top of that, you have a nasty combo that does almost 1,000 damage. Like, you have unreactable attacks with, like, your crouch attacks and, like, even your R1s for that matter. It's basically, like, you turn off your brain when you use that. But I think it's still a good exercise to, like, here and there, like, play with them. See, like, you know, you think they're strong, you think they're brain dead. Are you right? You know, like, just confirmation, like, how strong are they? How do they feel? Like, do they feel as strong as I thought they are? Because, like, for instance, dueling shield, right? We all know dueling shield is broken in duels. But playing with dueling shield and invasion, you realize it's really not the best option most of the time. Whereas, you know, if you're fighting gankers with dueling shield, or if you're dueling someone with dueling shield, it's a completely different story. Especially on dedicated builds. One thing about para, it's like, yeah, sure, it would be probably better to use Bragger, but it's not as safe. Like, basically, when you're invading with a weapon like that, it's way more safe to either have VHS or Endure. And given my setup, like, I can VHS swap on a whim, you know? So I prefer to have Endure on them. Because in invasions, like, the offensive options that you've got will be very useful, but if they're high commitment, like, you know, like any of the Braggers type attack, or like War Cry or Barbaric Roar, all that stuff, it takes a little while for Barbaric Roar to, like, do the whole thing. So you need a bit of separation in order to pull it off, whereas you already have the combo anyway. Whereas Endure will straight up save your life and when you need it. So at the end of the day, even though I know that that Bragger is better or stronger, it's definitely safer to have Endure. Have to be careful, man. Can I do that? Great fucking game, dude. In an invasion like that, I think I would have been better off with Flame Strike, honestly, other than Ender, looking back at it. Because they were just way too fucking aggressive and we have nowhere to go. Even though they suck, really. Just you can't really do much half the time. It's the game. Getting pressured by 2 people. There's no plays. Both of them lagging. And shit net. Jesus, that net's crap. Jesus fucking Christ, you shit net fuck. Bro, we were fucking blocking that shit net after that. It's hard to time a roll catch because his net is just simply too shit. Like, you don't know, like, when he's standing to attack you back, like... Because, for instance, I need to do a running attack right away if he's gonna attack me. And I need to delay it if he's gonna roll, but his net is so shit that he just keeps on skipping, so, like that, like... I don't know, like, if I should be attacking right away, or... It's just purely because this guy's net is complete other fucking dog shit. And we have the right weapon to fight him too. Like with his light roll and everything. Like there, like, you know, you can't really tell if, This is crazy, dude. It is some garbage ass net. Also max level moment. Play does so much damage with, throwing knives. Jesus, that net shit. Holy fuck. I have an idea. Look at this damage. Dude, this guy's net is actually so shit. Like, what the fuck? There you go, there you go, there you go. That's huge. That's why you carry those. God, you fucking dog shit. What a garbage ass fucking net. That's crazy. Dude, the joy of playing this shit game, right? There you go. Holy shit, dude, another one of these laggy fucks. What the fuck? Bro, this one too, dude. Holy shit, dude. How do these people have such terrible net? Could you imagine that? Like, these people are obviously on Wi-Fi, by the way. Like, there's just no other way. Like, keep in mind, like, connections like that, like, technically have a big chance of being the standard in Duskblood, because like you're gonna have most people playing on Wi-Fi with like very poor Wi-Fi connections too, because you know it's a handheld device, so they're gonna be playing from anywhere, like any mobile hotspot, really. Could you imagine? Like, the actual McDonald's Wi-Fi, Cleve, is gonna be real. And keep in mind, guys, you know, like, people always say, you know, oh, it's not his fault or her fault for living that far or whatever. This is not a matter of where you live. When the connection is that bad like that, you know, like, distance is not gonna create someone to lag like this. Distance is gonna amount for a certain amount of latency to a certain extent. You know, like, if you get someone that has, like, 300 milliseconds of latency, that means they're, like, at the complete opposite end of the globe. Like, compared to your location. Like, they're on the complete other side of the planet, basically. That's what it means. If it's above 300 milliseconds, that means there's something that's not going right. Like, either they're on Wi-Fi, either they're, like, using a VPN, either, you know, like, the routing is, like, fucking the worst that it can ever be. Like, you know, there's a bunch of reasons why, but for the most part, you know, you should be expecting, like, the worst to be, like, a 300 millisecond connection with, like, some skips possible here and there if it's at the other end of the globe. You know, some data might get lost during the whole process, but it really shouldn't, because the infrastructures around the planet for internet, like fiber optic, are usually pretty well kept for most part of the you know, most part of the world. It's not the case everywhere though. Like, for instance, in a lot of places in South America, it's like notoriously like pretty bad, like, infrastructures, but for most parts of the world, like, they're kept pretty well. Even the cables, like, that run along the oceans are pretty well kept, honestly. Would using rod grease on Para make it easier? No, because, like, latency is when you get ghost hits. Against someone that's straight up lagging, you just don't get ghost hits. Like, they're just lagging. They're teleporting from one place to the next. So for me to get a ghost hit, I need to hit them on my screen. But if the guy is constantly teleporting, I'm just straight up not hitting him. That's the difference. So rod grease would not necessarily help there. Speaking of rod grease, though, let me recraft those 2 pots now that I think about it. Keep them for another occasion. Right now we have another guy lagging, and the Phantom looks alright though. Yo, Mark, thank you so much for the gifted subs, man. Really appreciate that. Against dueling shield though, you don't really have much of a choice. At least the Phantom is not lagging. Let's Get some PvE to help us. Against this scrub, I'm thinking... first of all, we're not going the right way. We're going in the wrong direction. Oh, and we have a teammate. We have a teammate. Against this guy, I'm thinking... let's try the... Oh shit, I don't have the Bunka-Bunk. Unfortunate. I was thinking maybe the Giant Crusher, but it's not in my inventory right now. We have this though. The hole's dead already? No, he killed... Oh no, he has the dueling shield. The closest is not dead yet. Teammate died right away though. Gonna have to get some PvE help. Gankers outplayed and saved. Jesus, you can't make that shit up, dude. Like, you get a fucking good play, you know, like pressure the shield, get a guard break against a shitnet player. Then this fucker gets saved by pebbles out of all things. Unredeemable game, really. Again. Played and saved. Insane game. Great fucking game. Insane aim punch. Alright. Kill this fucking scrub now. Okay, just put on some extra grease stuff. Nice lag, by the way. He's like in a constant state of skipping. I think we're gonna have to change plan. Like he put like all the shield resist stuff. It actually saved him. Ah, dude, the shit net we have to fight today, like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Before, do you even have the game on PC? Pretty sure you have the game on PlayStation, right? We needed the giant crusher there. We only had the golem halberd. Let's grab a crusher now that I think about it. Definitely useful for these situations. I'm a crusher enjoyer now. Milady is one of the funnest weapon. Yeah, I think it's fun too, honestly. I like playing with Milady. It's definitely not a very skillful weapon. Like, you can play skillfully with it, but it definitely doesn't require a lot of skill to use. But it's definitely a fun weapon. It's one of those weapon, like, you know, you can press any button and you'll have, like, good success type of weapon. Oh boy. This guy had so much latency too. I think I need Flame Strike here. PvE's kind of distracting. Bro, where's my hit? The fuck? That was weird. And the invasions are not kind today. At least it's active, but we're not getting some kind invasions, that's for sure. So I should keep the harpoon readily available. We already got 2 kills today, thanks to that harpoon that was able to quickly get a range finisher off of someone. A range finisher that required slightly more than like a fan dagger. There's definitely a good use case for using that harpoon that I need to incorporate more into my playstyle. Like, having it readily available is definitely a good idea. Maybe I should replace my hefty pots that are readily available with the harpoon. Because usually, if you get a hefty pot, like, thrown, like, instantly, you usually have time to dodge it. Not my turn, guys. Oh, I dodged that, but apparently not. I hit that. So little opportunity to attack back. Like there, right? Even though the combo does good damage. Like right now, the reason why we managed to kill that Phantom was that the PvE distracted the host just long enough for us to be able to do something. Otherwise, like, when we landed the combo on the Phantom the first time, he just got saved by the host. So even if the combo does good damage, it takes a little while to commit to fully do it. And because you don't have hyper armor, you get stopped midway through as well. Whereas, for instance, if you compare that with the Crusher, like, even though, like, the attack itself is slow, it's not as much of a commitment than, like, landing a full combo like that. For similar damage, really. And you get hyper armor, so if you get attacked while you're doing the Crusher attack, you can still keep pressuring your opponent. This place is basically dead, I think. Basically need to keep everything alive. Insane range. Can't really commit. I'm trying to be as aggressive as I can, but there you go, there you go, there's a chance. Oh, that was so close! Oh my god, dude, we got so unlucky there. That should have landed. Basically just glanced the top of the sewers. Otherwise, that was it. All of that effort with Pada just straight to end like that. Oh, he went the wrong way. Close as fuck. He is so fucked. Yeah. I think he just realized. Radon pulling them to the big flower would be a terrible play. It would basically be like fucking myself over. Because I'm stuck there with them, so if they kill that flower, or even if they don't kill it, I'm still stuck there with them with no way to go anywhere. That basically guarantees that I get pressured like infinitely. But yeah, like just this invasion, for instance, I could not figure a window of opportunity to attack them because they were constantly near each other. And so even if Pana is very quick and I was able to land some running attacks, it felt like it was lacking for this particular invasion type, and it felt like Crusher, for instance, was a better option. just because you have hyper armor priority against everything that they were using. That's why it's important. Well, important. Let's say important in the context of learning this game to like play with weapons like paras and stuff like that, just to see like is it always like the best for each situation. Oh. Bro doesn't want to open the door. They need to go through here though. There's no other way around it. Okay, now that we know that they need to go through here. What else is there? Oh, charge attack maybe? That is the closest weapon to your spawn in the DLC. It was always meant to be. This guy is stuck down there until this door is open, so they have no choice but to come here. BHB is also very close. Another monstrosity. My most accurate prediction was saying there would be feet weapon in the DLC, right? Wait, you're actually coming to this way, what the hell? That was amazing. That was actually amazing. We blasted that guy. Just blasted. Okay, so I was right. The phantom that was down there was indeed stuck there. It's just that the party was not with him. That's why, like, he wasn't going to exit, because he was stuck down there by himself. Like, the host needs to open that door from the other side. Which is kind of a flaw when you think about it, right? Like, imagine you're playing through that area to, like, the first time around, and you're with your buddy, and your buddy falls somewhere, you're not with him. And you're trying to go, like, and find, like, how to get him there. Like, there's really only one hole that you can find to get there. And your buddy's basically stuck here. So your best bet is to, like, sever him out and, like, resummon. It's kind of weird, right? The only unfortunate thing about these weapons is that they don't do a lot of damage. At least at meta. Thank you, PvE. Good teamwork. Oh, hit for you. What the fuck? Dude, PvE best teammate. Let's go. Again, another invasion where it felt like Crusher was just a better play than in other stuff. Crazy, dude. Since I started playing with Crusher, I'm like, it really is like a very strong invasion weapon. Never really realized. It feels better than that Fate Club, especially for invasions, because you still get access to your Ash. So like whether it's using Bragger, whether it's using Storm Stomp, or even BHS for that matter. Like having your Ash available for invasions is a big deal. It's definitely a very good invasion weapon so far from my experience. I love that for invasions. For duels, it's definitely not as strong. But it's still a good weapon. Like, you can definitely make good work with that, even in duels. If you're patient. I'm not very patient. Insane. This is gaming right here. It's just annoying, dude. Okay, let's just change plan like real fucking quick to King of the world, guys. And this one, Crusher wasn't the play. Fucking Golem was. Golem's always the play, actually. It's crazy because the more I play with strength build, like, the more I realize that some of the weapons that are best at invasions on strength are not the ones that I thought of initially. Like, you really want big damage when you're invading. You want big damage and you want the ability to pressure. Sword Lance is definitely another big candidate for invasions. Like every time I play with Sword Lance when I'm invading, it's always like a very strong invasion weapon. Even TS, right? Like a lot of time I'll switch to TS, but I realize that more often than not, TS is not the is not the play when I'm invading most of the time. Even though I swap to it because, like, as far as dueling weapons go, like, it's a very, very strong contender, but a lot of time you need to kill quickly. And TS can be good at that if you just roll catch your opponent over and over. But more often than not, you just don't have time to... You don't have that luxury to focus on the same target for like 5 roll catches. That's why Dragon Pimp was so powerful, yeah. I can't wait until Tarnished Edition because with the new Tarnished Edition, you know, we're probably going to get new classes out of that. So depending on how the classes stat spread turn out, I might make new characters, and if I make new characters, I'm going to be making new builds. So my plan is to have like maybe like 3 permanent builds that I can swap between. Like I'm thinking like a strength build, maybe like a dex build, a mage build. Maybe I should do more than that. Maybe I should have fate dex. I should have one of each, really. I should have a strength, dex, arcane, fate, and int, and have these builds like readily available. Like mix it up. Glass cannon build like in Dark Souls 3, it doesn't exist in this game. You already, like, in this game, you already have access to, like, a large distance dodge with BHS on, like, mid-roll. You already can do insane damage while keeping your armor. And there's really no incentive for you to have low armor. Like, basically, like, your glass cannon equivalent would not even be to be wearing nothing, because, like the chatter said, like, flint ring in this game is basically ass. Like, you'd basically be wearing, like Rakshasa with, like the leather chest piece. That would basically be, like, your glass cannon outfit, so to speak. Like, a glass cannon build in this game would be something along the line of... it would be something along the line of this. Like, that would be glass cannon. And then, like, you have this, you have, like, let's say this, and let's say that. And that would basically be your glass cannon. And actually, maybe you do this instead, and maybe instead you do that. And then you just pop, like, something poison to, like, buff yourself even further. And that's it. That's basically, like, your glass cannon build. And quite frankly, like, you'd get damage out of it. But most of that extra damage doesn't really come from wearing all that stuff. Because, like, really, you know, if you want to do big damage, what you could do that's way better instead... It's like, you remove that Rakshasa sacrifice, put something that's better instead. What's our poise here? 64. 64 is actually pretty bad. But what's better here, basically, is instead of sacrificing all of that, you keep your armor. Let me just, like, just tweak the weight a little bit. No, that's not it. For this one, I think I need to lower the armor. Maybe this? No, too heavy. Let's see. 38 for this one. Just find an armor that's, like, weight ratio wise, that makes sense. There you go, like something like that. Still not a little enough. Actually, you could ditch that altogether. But I don't have BHS escape if I do that. 9... something like this. That's not even enough. 39 is the poise for this one. How about this one? 45 for this. Well, either way, guys, I'm not gonna spend time to like optimize this. Like, you need to like optimize the armor to get the right poise ratio. But all in all, like, what would be like more optimal if you want to go for big damage is to wear like something ugly like that, where like your thing is optimized. Then you have this, and actually, there you go. There's where your weight needs to go. Like, you'd have the poison hand like that. You poison yourself, switch that tally back to like the crouch one, and there you go. There's your big damage, just like that. Without sacrificing like 2 talisman slot, you still have like heavy armor. And that's basically it. You know? It's not really like a big deal. Wonder what's the most optimal set for poise. But yeah, basically, like, it's better to like to have your armor be like optimized with like mushroom crown, and then have the poison thing and just poison buff yourself, and then, you know, go in there with like some buffs. That's basically what's better here. In Dark Souls 3, like, the reason why the Dex Glass Cannon was so good was that it made a big difference to have like all these stats in one thing, and coupled with the effect of the Flint Ring was significant, and you could not really get any other damage boost than that in Dark Souls 3. Like, the only damage boost you could get were basically like damage at full health, and like a buff, basically like a straight up weapon buff. That was it. That was the way you dealt big damage. It's just not the case in this game. Like, there's so many buffs in Elden Ring, and your stats don't account for as much damage as the buffs do. So it's just better to have a build that's more well-rounded, basically. I'm actually surprised at how fucking weight optimized this is. Look at that. This armor is so weight efficient. Pretty crazy. Does the poison buff stay if you take off the ring after poisoning yourself? Yeah, it does. But it's a tedious process. You know, everyone that streams this game, every single person that ever streamed this game went through that phase of like trying out all the dumb one-shots that this game has. We all went through that. It's just that at some point you realize it gets very tedious to buff over and over again, not only for each invasion, but to reapply the buff every single time that your buff runs out, like every 30 seconds. So there's a point where you have to like balance it out to where, like, what do you find fun? Like, do you find it fun to like be playing the game while buffing and rebuffing like over and over? And that's basically most of your time spent during these invasions. It's just a buff. Or you could use like stuff that's you know, you just use stuff that's more permanent, like, you know, the talismans, and like accept just doing a 2-shot instead of a 1-shot, and you put the stuff into longevity instead, you know, put some extra defense basically. Swapping through 20 stuff is annoying. I can see that. I definitely can see that. Dude, I could not see that twisting sword attack with the big bonk. Bro, almost got saved by the elevation. Like, he actually got lucky there. Like, the flame strike was supposed to catch him, but the elevation saved him. Rust has a great vid on optimal poise armor. Yeah, absolutely. Like, Rust has, like, a vid that covers pretty much the topic for those, who are looking to, like, optimize their armor, stuff like that. Personally, like, I'm holding off on, like, getting a good armor that I like, because this is just temporary, like, this whole, like, ugly set. I just want to use some of the new armors that they've announced in the Tarnished Edition. I think those look the best. And so I'm holding off to, like, pretty much remake my build with those armors and the new weight that they will imply in mind, basically. Because, you know, the build that I'm using right now, it's actually not made for any of the armors I'm wearing. Like, the stats don't match the inventory layout. It's just that it takes a long time to set all this up. And so I don't want to have to redo it again when the Tarnished Edition comes out, so I'm just holding off on it. Remember your last stream? Told you about Bragger Giant Crush through combo, and the very next day Chase makes a build using that exact thing. What an insane coincidence. I mean, it's definitely possible that, you know, he saw the stream, because Chase is there quite often. Nothing wrong with that, though, to be fair. Like, it's not like we have a fucking copyrights on oh fuck, copyrights on weapons and shit. Like, there's just so little content that is in the game. There's definitely big chance that content creators get ideas from one another. Locked onto the wrong guy. Dude, it's crazy how this spam really makes it hard. Okay. Bro, he's not locked on. Dude, you have to be kidding me. Dude, and he could have easily killed me right there with that blood loss. That's the crazy part. Dude, that would have been like such a fluke invasion, and it would not have been the first time either. Crazy, man. When do you think the Tarnished Edition is coming out? Probably around the holidays, I'd say. That's my guess. It would make sense, you know, revenue-wise, it's always a good window for companies to release their games, you know, before the holidays. I think Firekeeper said that there was like rumors or a leak somewhere that said like a September for Tarnished Edition. That would make sense to me. Like that, I don't know if it's a good leak or not, but logically speaking, that makes a lot of sense. I initially thought it was gonna come out with the release of the Switch, but I mean, you know, Switch is already out and it's not there, so. Oh, you know what? Oh, what we could try. Oh, Just saw someone else there. Insane BS attempt. There you go. Drink your physics. They need a lot of time to ensure that the horse armor looks as good as possible. I think they just don't want fucking the Tarnished Edition to cannibalize sales off of Nightreign. Although, to be quite honest, I'm not really sure how that would be, since the Tarnished Edition is technically exclusive to Switch, and, you know, Nightreign is not on Switch. Maybe they're gonna actually charge something for the horse skin and the new armors. Maybe they're gonna actually like ask people to pay for that. That would be a first for From Software to do that. And that would compete with, like, let's say the purchase of Nightreign, so to speak. If that's a thing. I don't think that's what's happening though, but who knows, man? I don't know. You look forward to invading on Switch? Yeah, I bet. You'd cry? Yeah, it would mean, like, pretty bad for the future of FromSoft if they start to charge, like, you know, basically money for microtransactions, because that's what it is, right? When you're paying for, like, a few armors and a horse skin, that's basically microtransaction, you know? That's like the type of stuff you'd get from the Creation Club, or like Skyrim, right? But I don't think that's what they're doing. I think it's just going to be a free update. I think they're just like delaying the release for Tarnished Edition, probably because it's they want to stagger their releases, is what I'm guessing. By the way, do we have a date for Duskblood? New starter class will be more optimal than Vagabond? I hope so. I hope it forces everyone to remake a build. I wouldn't mind it. You know, like, just keep the game a little more fresh. Just having to remake new builds and stuff. You hope not? Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that hope it doesn't. I really hope it does, because I think it's way more fun to mix things up a little bit. Like, the game is so fucking stale and boring. I think Steel wanted, like, a patch that breaks the game just because he finds it too stale or something like that. He didn't say it like exactly like that, but it basically implied that. Oh wow, we actually got a good spawn. What the hell? The first. 2026 is Duskblood? Okay. So like, okay, so let's think about that, right? Like, for until 2026, they'd probably want to release that Tarnished Edition like midway through. Because, like, they won't have anything probably between Nightreign and Duskblood. So really, it would make sense to like get that at the end of 2025. You always have like something releasing on the calendar, basically. Thanks, Canuck, for that info. So I think that's what makes the most sense. PvE almost fucking. The overkill jump attack. One class will be useless, the other one will be obligatory. Yeah, that sounds about right. You port your save to PlayStation after you make it on Build Maker. I've never used any of those tools. Like, I know a lot of streamers use the like porting save to PC. Like, I think Lost and Steel use it. It's just way faster to make builds. I don't use it. I'm like a little old school when it comes to that. I kind of like no tempering to the game like at all. So I just use the cloud save and like reload my save, and I basically make my builds manually. So it takes a while, that's the thing. I always find it funny when people call me a cheater, like, for using cheat engine. Like, what they don't know is fucking every content creator that they praise and love actually uses it, and I don't. And also, like, I was the last fucking content creator, maybe aside from Saint Riot, that was using like any dropped equipment from anyone, because I waited basically 6 months after the game was out before like getting anything dropped from anyone. Which makes me honest and everyone else dishonest. That's the truth though. Wow. Well, we joined forces for that one. And to be fair, I don't actually think there's anything wrong with like dropping yourself stuff with like an external software to save time. It's just I wouldn't do it. I don't like it. And I think like people that are complaining about that are not very smart, to be quite honest. But there is some merit to the complaint that, you know, you shouldn't have to do that to get like everything done in a timely manner. Like basically my complaint would be that you should have access to these sort of tools in game, meaning that you should be able to buy everything you need to like create the perfect character once you've beaten the game like fucking 7 times, right? Like you're on New Game plus 7, the game has nothing else to offer that you have not done already. You know, give the merchant like everything that's available that you can purchase with all the runes that you've acquired, right? Like modders came up with something like they called it like Honest Merchant. I think there was a mod like that in Dark Souls 3, probably one with Elden Ring. But that's basically it, right? That's what you want in your game. Like once you've beaten the game 7 times and you're on New Game plus 7, like reward the people that have done that the legit way by like giving them access to like buy any weapon at the shop, or like buy like every consumables that exist in the game. Basically like the option to buy anything that they would ever need, even if it costs a lot. Like for instance, maybe you want them to I should be paying attention. You didn't get that on purpose, but still. Dude, I can't even fucking see him with the Crusher here that's taking half the screen. Okay. Need to focus on the host. Insane lock on. Reason why the host just decided like I was too strong, so now he booked it. Oh no, he didn't. Just changed his mind. Now he booked it, changed his mind again. Great players. But yeah, I'm a firm believer into like giving players access to like everything that's in the game in order to create like the builds that they want once they've beaten, like if they've beaten the game 7 times, you know, I think that's the max, like new game plus 7. Actually, technically it would be 8 times, right? I think, I'm not sure. Because I think the normal new game, like, or like the initial game is like not in any new game, and then you get new game plus 1. So I think it would be 8 times anyway. Like once you've beaten the game that amount of times, you should basically have access to everything you need, right? Plus 7 is Journey 8, yeah, there you go. And yeah, like I'm saying new game plus 7, right? You guys could make an argument that it should be like that in new game plus, right? Like on your second playthrough. I wouldn't disagree with that. I'm just saying that I don't think there's any argument to be made for a new game plus 7. Like if you've beaten the game 7 times, I think that's a fitting reward, right? For beating the game 7 times. To have like a master vendor that sells everything, and you still wouldn't get everything for free, right? Like, you know, if you want to buy a an ancient dragon upgrade stone, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe it costs like 25k runes, or you know, you give a price that's that's appropriate for everything. So even then, you'd still have an incentive to keep on playing because you'd need these runes in order to buy everything. That's how I see it, and that way it doesn't force people to, like, you know, get their save exported, make builds on the PC platform, you know, open up for some cheaters on top of that, and like basically like punish people that are not doing it by spending an unholy amount of time playing the game that's like farming stuff or whatever. Because at the end of the day, like that's already in the game. Like whether you like the idea of like an endgame merchant or not, the outcome of that merchant already exists. People are already doing it using outside means. All this does really is even the playing field with people that don't want to do it. So really, it's going to be hard to argue against that. Also, like, it would make it a lot more fun to craft like the perfect build with perfect inventory if you knew that, you know, you didn't need to like do an infinite amount of playthrough to get like upgrade materials, for instance, or like farm an unholy amount of time to get like golem arrows or whatever consumable that you might want to be playing with. Like what I do to offset that is really I just reload my save every time. By reloading your save, like you basically like offset that amount, because you basically re-get it. Whatever you consume during a game session, you re-get it on the next game session because you reloaded your save. But yeah, generally speaking, like as far as I remember for this game, that has always been like an idea that was like universally agreed upon, that it would have been a good idea by like both like the casuals, the tryhard, the redditors. Like, I haven't really seen like a group of people that gave an argument as to why this was not a good idea or this wasn't a good thing to do. And I'm not the, I'm not the one who's proposing it either, in the sense that this is not my idea. Like, this is something I read at some point that I thought made a lot of sense. Okay, let's have some fun here. Try Kung Fu fighting. I'm fearing the dragon right now. Yeah, for good reasons, right? You always need to respect that dragon when you're here. Oh, the guy just died because of it. When I fight in this area, I always like to keep myself bubbled up. Purely for the dragon. At least they added some important consumables to buy, but it's not nearly enough. Yeah, the problem with these consumables to buy is that it doesn't solve the problem if they do it half-ass, you know what I mean? Like, if they give you like half the consumables that you can purchase and the other half you can't, it doesn't solve the problem. It basically, actually, like, it changes absolutely nothing, because the need for external ways to get your build set up is still there, even if it's just for one item. They basically need to have everything available, like everything. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yeah, basically, you still have to save reload, exactly. Huddled Venus, thank you so much for the resub for 1 year, bro. 1 fucking year with that beautiful name. Thank you so much, man. That's very appreciated. Oh shit, it's Pepperoni 420 49. Oh, he's already at the boss. Well. Yeah, exactly, Filthy. Exactly, dude. And, you know, it's just not fun doing that. It's not fun, and all it does, it would just require a tedious process between each invasions, really. Like, it would not add anything to the game. It's not even... Like, I think the biggest misconception is that it's an advantage it's not an advantage because when you're in the session, you really only have a set amount that you can use. And quite frankly, for the hefty pots, you're never really going to use more than 20 hefty pots for like one invasion. And like basically what it means is like you're never going to use more than like emptying your hefty pots twice and like recrafting once during an invasion. Like at the end of the day, like the guy that has like 200, 600, or 20, there's actually no difference between any of them. Because at the end of the day, in that one specific invasion, there's no way you're going to be using more than 20. All it does would be to like have the player that has the 20, like he doesn't need to reload his save every time he does an invasion, basically. That's what it does. It's just convenience. That's all it is. It's convenience and time saver. It's to not make the game miserable. Yo, Humble, thanks for the resub for 7 months, man. Wonder where the host is. Ooh, the frame drops here. There's some pretty significant frame drops for a second. Oh wow, he just lagged there and it saved him for the last hit. Oh, is that... Oh no, that's the scorpion. I was about to say, was that my hit that just connected? No, it was the small scorpion. Dude, the host like actually lagged for a split second for the last hit and it saved them from getting killed in one chain. That's crazy. Scorpion was there though for karma's sake. Thank you, Scorpion. Thank you, Miyazaki, for allowing me to purchase infinite St. Trina Batwater instead of upgrade materials. Like, out of curiosity, like, what are you referring to? Like, are there anything that's like that you're referring to when it comes to St. Trina like Batwater? Like, what's the item in game that you're thinking of? Or you just like made that up completely, like, you know, for the Batwater joke? Or is there like an actual item that you can buy that you're thinking of? The kill yourself potion? Oh, you can buy an infinite amount of those? I didn't even know that. See, that's exactly... That was the question. Thanks for answering that. They ended up seeing me after 7 hours, by the way. Guys, yesterday I was actually, you know, chilling, just doing arena fights with, like, random weapons, and, you know, I had Vale open in the background. Vale was playing Dark Souls 3, and basically his whole gameplay was, he was fighting some dude, I think it was probably some sort of cheater, and then, like, the guy just, like, randomly, like, in the invasion, like, his opponent's character started doing that, right? Like, standing in place, just walking like that. And usually when that happens, that means, like, you know, there's a connection error, and then you get disconnected from the world, like, you know, a few seconds after, right? But it stayed like that pretty much his whole stream, and I went to bed, and, I mean, Vale just came in and just said that the host was basically still there, and he booted Vale offline after 7 hours, because Vale was still in the game for 7 hours. It's funny because, as much as this shouldn't surprise anyone that has played Dark Souls 3, it's funny to see that, you know, the bullshittery is just More present than ever. But yeah, you know, watching that, you were on the fence about playing Dark Souls 3, it should definitely give you a good reason not to play. Oh wow, that reached heaven. We're fat rolling. It's the king of chicken. Dark Souls 3 has a bug that desyncs people after some amount of time. It was introduced after the last update. Oh, bro, like, that's so fucking sad, dude. Thank you, FromSoft, for breaking your own game. Man, that's so sad. That is actually pretty sad. You know what? Let's actually try the pikes. I'm actually not very confident about using them, but we're gonna give it a shot anyway. Honestly, I see pikes and like double spear now as worse paras. That's how I see it. It's just worse para because it's the same thing as para with more stamina consumption and slower R1s. Maybe better jump attack. That's it. Have you tried Enspur Rapier? Is it any good with rod buildup? Enspur is fucking deadly. It's one of the strongest weapon in the game. Yeah, I used to use it quite often, although now like I've pretty much defaulted to just using clean rod with rod bundles. But if you use Enspur with rod bundles, you're gonna get a rod buildup quicker. Sometimes it's worth it if you really need to rot someone, like a dueling shield, for instance. Enspur might be a better play than clean rot. Oh shit, I didn't even see him. Are we bone bowling? We are bone bowling. Oh fuck, that's not the inventory I wanted. Okay, now, fuck the, oh fuck, here. Okay. Oh, that's gonna be a TS invasion, guys. Oh, okay, there you go. We got aim punch on top of that. This is such a bad spot. At least we have the church to work around. One thing that I really fucking dislike about the DLC is like the designers made such a noob mistake by giving like the tallest fucking grass possible. A lot of time, like, you just play in there and you can't fucking see the attack animation of your opponent because the grass is simply too fucking tall. It's not like that in the base game. Such a noob, like, designer mistake, honestly. What's crazy is we didn't need that invader help. Now it's pretty much going to be over in a second. Yep. We would have been fine without that teammate. It made the invasion kind of unrewarding, really. It's like basically instantly over as soon as it's a 2v2, and our teammate was not even good. That's the worst part. Like they could not handle, sorry, like a few seconds of 1v1 basically. He knows Bonbo but still uses Rob. Yeah, that's actually funny. Alright, let's try these spikes again. An invasion that's not too fucking nasty. We spawned pretty far. I'd use the Wilder's grappling hook right now. Whoa. Insane timing. Whoa, we resisted the bleed. I'm really not a big fan of double spear. It feels a little too simple to play with. I guess the jumping attack, like, makes it a little bit more interesting, but for like on the floor stuff, it's a pretty basic moveset. It's a strong moveset, but not my favorite. Wait, is that the same people that we keep invading here and they just can't get past that dragon? Oh shit. Big resolve right there, you know? Don't want to lose to either the dragon or the invader, so I might as well die like right now. This is how true warriors are made, guys. He's going straight to Sovngarde. So true, dude, because he died in battle. He was in actual combat when he died. So, for sure he's going to Sovngarde. No doubt. Yo, Matador, thanks for the Prime resub for a year, dude. Thank you so much. Actually, it's more than a year. It's for fucking 21 months, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Well, this area is nice, though. I like this map. I wish the enemies were stronger, but this is a really nice map. The fuck? That was weird. I see them. I think. They're on the other side now, yeah. Oh, there's 3 of them though. At least you get that range. That was actually light work. You could really feel the extra range on those spears. Are you done with Nightreign forever? I actually play Nightreign more than I play Elden Ring, believe it or not, nowadays. I just play off stream. Like, I actually enjoy Nightreign so much that I'm keeping it for myself. I'm not making any content out of it. Not feeling any obligation to play it. I'm just playing with friends for my own fun, and I'm actually enjoying it. So I don't really intend on making Nightreign content, but I might cover like some of the patches or some stuff here and there if I feel like it. But I'm actually playing Nightreign in my free time, mostly with Cleve, Canuck, and Hackrish. I'd say those are mostly the people I play Nightreign with. And it's always just chill, like, you know, we just have fun and just talk while just chilling, like beating Nightreign bosses. I'm a bit sad because I ended my 26 win streak, and it was honestly my fault. Sometimes, like, when you just shred bosses over and over, you start to get too comfortable and too confident. But I think I could have had that streak going a lot further. I didn't play sloppy there. Yeah, there's actually a in the codec, it says your win streak. It's funny because I had basically like 50-ish game played, and my fucking win streak was 26, which was basically half of my games played were a win streak. It's pretty funny. What I plan to do is I'll probably make a vid, like, once I get like a lot of hours played into it. But like right now, I don't really see like what I could make for vids that could be interesting, because the bosses are already like, now that they have been figured out, like it's actually not that hard to win like any of the fights. So like maybe with the enhanced bosses, like maybe it's gonna be like more difficult, and maybe it's gonna worth posting something. I might do that. I might post like all the enhanced bosses once they update that. It'd be fun. Oh yeah, those lasers are fucking ruthless. Yeah, these lasers are not to be fucked with. A deadly area. Dude, imagine if the invader had a power to like take the gankers in any fucking location and basically like force them into like a some sort of like time warp just for the invasion period, right? So like, you know, you get invaded, and instead of you invading their world, the fucking gankers get sucked in like the invader's location of choice. And the invader can basically like pick any PvE pit that's fucking in the game, right? And so like you basically spawn the gankers where those lasers are. That'd be fucking amazing. Dude, that could be such a good idea, because you know in Nightreign they actually do that with some field event. Like you get like a field event, and then you get teleported to like a spot on the map where you get put into a bubble to fight like the ogre or something like that. Gankers would probably quit, yeah, for sure, but I just like to entertain the thought. Do you think a good Souls player should be really good at PvP and PvE? I'm gonna be honest with you. The actual good Souls players are good at both. Like the speedrunners that are not good at PvP, you know, I'm not talking about like for instance, I'll give you like a few examples, right? JeeNiNe, right? I mean, everyone knows JeeNiNe. I think JeeNiNe is the best speedrunner, and I say that because usually he's the one who comes up with like the runs first, and like for himself for the most part, and he can freestyle PvE a lot more, whereas the other speedrunners, like, they basically need to have everything planned to a T, otherwise they suck pretty much. Like if they don't know the moveset of a boss, they look fucking stupid basically. Like a lot of them, that's pretty much like that. So when it comes to someone like JeeNiNe, JeeNiNe back in Dark Souls 3 actually tried PvP, and he actually enjoyed it. He enjoyed it so much that he started playing with us, and I invaded a lot with JeeNiNe Machino in Dark Souls 3, and he was actually quite good at it. In fact, it was so good that JeeNiNe became probably one of the best player for the amount of time that he had played the game. Like, he had played PvP, let's say. So, like, he had, let's say, 2k hours in PvE, and, like, barely 100 hours PvP, and he was basically beating a lot of the tryhards with his little PvP experience. Why is that? Because he actually had skills. Even if he had developed those skills doing PvE, he actually had good spacing already. He actually had good timing already. So his fundamentals were developed through PvE, believe it or not, and were transferable to PvP. Now, I'm not saying that anyone would be able to do that, but this is an example of someone who quite clearly is very skilled. I also have a reversed one. I have a Sunlight Wing, who, you know, for those of you who don't know him, not the guy that does top 10, another friend of mine. This guy was basically, you know, he was a top Dark Souls 3 player for a long time. And he was also enjoying doing PvE, and he was doing like some, you know, level 1 fist-only runs, just purely because the guy had good spacing and timing. And while it's definitely a thing where, like, a lot of PvPers are bad at PvE because they really don't care about it and don't know anything about it, if you have good fundamentals, it definitely does transfer over. I'll give you another example. I'll give myself as another example. When Shadow of the Erdtree came out, right? When the DLC came out, Shadow of the Erdtree. Not this. Dude, I actually forgot the button for switching the map. Okay, there you go. So when Shadow of the Erdtree came out, I played the game on stream, you know, I did the whole PvE on stream, and we beat most of the bosses first try. And quite frankly, like, I played way better PvE than all these speedrunners. And it's not even surprising. Why is that? Because I have way better fundamentals than them, right? It's not really close. And so when they're faced with something that they've never seen before, they cannot adapt as quickly because their fundamentals are not as good, basically. So while you're gonna see these speedrunners and these pro PvEers do a lot better in their subsequent runs because they will have learned all the moveset and everything that they need to learn in order to get a perfect route, perfect, you know, game plan for every single enemy. If they don't have that, they don't look as good, basically. So for a first run like that, someone like me will do way better than all these quote-unquote like pro PvEers or speedrunners. So that's my point here. So yes, someone who's good at the game is going to be good at both to a certain extent. Not all the skills are transferable, but a lot of the fundamentals are. And you can see that with the examples I gave you. Are there ways to practice or train fundamentals? The fundamentals really have always been the same for every Souls game. It's just that they're not present to the same extent in every game. And it's spacing and timing. What does that mean? It's your ability to manage distance between you and your opponent, and your ability to time your attack and dodge your attacks properly. So what does that mean in PvP? Well, in PvP, it's to always stay like right outside of your opponent range, and then you only enter your opponent range when you are attacking. That's basically what it is to space properly. And so you force your opponent to whiff their attack and you punish them. In Elden Ring, it's not as important because the recovery of the weapons is so much lower and the forward momentum in this game. It's funny that I'm carrying fucking 2 pikes. But the forward momentum in this game is so much higher that you don't need quite as good of a spacing in order to be effective and good at the game. In Elden Ring, there's more of an emphasis on timing because everything has so much forward momentum. It's going to force you at some point to be able to roll. So that's the other thing, right? Your ability to see an attack coming and time your dodge at the right time. And then it's the same thing, your ability to gauge when the dodge for your opponent is going to come and time your attack so that it catches their roll. That's basically the fundamentals. Now, PvE-wise, it's the same idea. When you're fighting a boss, it's to space their attack so that the boss whiffs and you don't need to dodge and you can punish them without having to dodge. And then, you know, the timing is, again, the same thing. It's to time your attacks and time your dodges so that you hit the boss doesn't hit you. That's what the fundamentals of these games are. Now, when it comes to PvP, there's a little more to it. You know, you can make reads because you can predict what your opponent is going to do, for instance, which is not something you'll find in PvE. Like, you can't predict PvE because it's already set in stone. Like, the PvE has only a few things that they can do, whereas with a human player they can attack out of its stun, or, you know, they can roll spam, or there's different behaviors that can be predicted. That's basically it. But yeah, like, for instance, a game like Dark Souls 3 was way more heavy on spacing compared to Elden Ring. And Elden Ring also nullifies more fundamentals because the game is made in a way so that people kind of have take turns almost to attack, right? Because like you attack someone and then my follow-up attack won't stun them, so they can attack out of it. So basically, like, I attack them once and then I need to back up in order to do something, or if I attack them once, I need to have something that has hyper armor. So it's like there's a lot more gimmicks involved in Elden Ring. If you win neutral, we call neutral like the state in which two players are looking at each other, they're outside of each other's range. And for the first engagement to happen, one player needs to break neutral and get into like the active hitbox range of their opponents, or your active hitbox range, or vice versa. Like breaking neutral, you get into your opponent's range, and then something happens. Either, you know, they dodge your attack, either you attack them, they attack you. Doesn't matter. But usually the hard part, and the part that most of the best players are good at, is they have better spacing, and so once they get into neutral, then they have priority, and so they keep chaining you to that, so they do a chain of attacks. So like, if I win the neutral game, I outspace you, punish you, and now like you're at my mercy. I need to roll catch you and maximize the amount of damage that I can do for that one moment that I outspaced you, right? That's the ideal way that that Souls game work, really, because it favors the person who is aggressing. Whereas, unfortunately, it's not really always the case, because in a game like Elden Ring, you might be the one that's aggressing and the first one who got the neutral hit and outspace properly. The game is not going to reward you with the ability to aggress your opponent further, because you're going to lose priority after you land that first hit. So you're either forced to roll out, or you're forced to do it something that's like suboptimal and easy to dodge, like let's say a jump heavy, or an Ash of War that has hyper armor but that is more telegraphed, something like that. So that pretty much makes it so that the best weapons for PvP often are weapons who keep priority or have time to like sneak in 2 hits before you're forced to roll out, like a curved sword, like a Shamshir, or a trusting sword, or stuff, like dueling shield always keeping priority, stuff like that, like Power Stan's Great Spear keeping priority, that sort of stuff. Why even really good players died to Stone's Club R1 spam? Because, I mean, the hyper armor for Stone Club is actually, like, way too overtuned. And, there's always different factors for each game. You could be, like, doing something else. Like, you could be not focused 100%. Not everyone plays perfectly all the time. And so, if you have, like, like, a connection skip, or, like, there's so many things that could go in a fight that affects the outcome of it, and because the damage is also so high, let's say in the arena, on top of that where your health bar is smaller, like, because there's so many things that happen, the damage is so high, like, you can absolutely lose to worse players than you here and there, just because, it's just the way the game is set up. It doesn't always reward the better player. It's just how it is. Really using the range to the... not what I wanted. Really using the range to the fullest here for these fights. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The blue balls of doom. My best ally. They never fail me, actually. I love these blue balls. Most useful PvE in the entire game. To be honest, like, not playing with pikes pretty much ever. But the range is actually insane on these. Like, you have so much range for the L1, it's crazy. You really feel it. I don't think it's a setup that I want to play with often, though. I still don't feel comfortable using them. I'm sure it's a very strong setup in the right hands, though, especially with Storm Stomp like that. But like, knowing myself, I'd probably get annoyed if I have to fight like basic hyper armor with a setup like this, like a greatsword. Any decent greatsword that doesn't whiff too often. They just keep on like hyper armor, doing hyper armor attacks that would land if you don't dodge them, which basically would nullify your Storm Stomp, and it would just not give you an opportunity to really ever attack back. But maybe it would be good to just straight up trade with them. Maybe I would win the trade, who knows. You know, you put on Spear Talisman and do like a running L1 with the... you know, with the running talisman. Maybe you'd win the trade, I don't know. You play PC, mostly den maps, and a lot of people say Club is brain dead. And you don't understand them, it only has good neutral R1. I mean, I'm sure... Honestly, I don't think you're being completely honest there. Like, you know why it's brain dead. It's because it's very safe. That's why it's brain dead. It's because it's very safe. The hyper armor is finicky to... It's finicky to find a good opportunity, and it can shut down some setups on top of that. That's why it's brain dead, because you don't really need to do much when you're a club user, even though it's not necessarily easy to roll catch someone that's basically just waiting to roll whatever attack on reaction, where the club would have a very hard time to roll catch them in that case. But it's very safe, that's why it's brain dead. And it's all because the hyper armor is just so quick. And it does a lot of damage on top of that, so... You really capitalize if you do manage to trade. But like, if you want something that's really brain dead, fucking the whole back end blade with fucking blind spot, now that's fucking... That is stupid, man. Like, being able to just reaction counter like so many things, it's not okay. Where's the other guy? Oh, there he is, never mind. Oh, I didn't even hear that. Dude, their range on this is kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It definitely feels like it's still strong. Still don't really know what I'm doing with these, but even not really knowing what I'm doing with these weapons and basically like never playing with it, it still feels like that it's probably easy to play with. Two-handed pike is pretty fun too. Yeah, you use it pretty well, Baby Turtle, to be fair. And to be quite honest, guys, like, you know, when we say something is brain dead, like, just to answer someone in chat, when we say something is brain dead, it's, you know, it's usually because we're talking about something, like, you see it, you just describe what you're seeing. It's not a complaint. If something is brain dead, like, the game is not gonna change. The game is set in stone. Like, unless you're hoping that Tarnished Edition is going to bring, like, the patch that's going to save PvP, like, you better accept the state that the game is in now, with all the flaws that it has, because it's likely going to stay that way. Like, the time to complain was, like, you know, months and months ago, like, even like a year ago, when FromSoft was still delivering patches. That was the time to complain about stuff, to get stuff changed. And quite frankly, we got BHS to get fucking fixed because we complained a lot about it. The complaints are very useful, but now it's pretty much over. Like, that time is over. Now it's pointless. But there's nothing wrong with saying X or Y weapon is brain dead, because you're really just describing a reality there. Where's that guy? Oh, I actually did not even see him until I locked onto him. Alright, let's see here. Oh my god, the insane pivot. I thought it was going to do a fucking crouch attack. That's what happens with these fucking... these scrubs, like... Oh, wow! No way, dude! I didn't think he would get that. Usually I'm the one who always gets these, because I got some pretty good, like, Dark Souls 1 type backstab. But he actually had it too. Don't know if he got it by accident or not. Like, usually what happens is, like, those strafes, like, when you strafe to the left, like, there's a way you can strafe to always get, like, priority. And surprisingly, like, that sort of strafing was very unreliable in Dark Souls 3. It was pretty much all that like, this is pretty much bread and butter for Dark Souls 1. And surprisingly, in Elden Ring, it's very consistent as well. You just don't find yourself in that situation often where you can get strafe backstabs, but it's definitely a thing in Elden Ring. Like, it's very consistent to get those, actually. It's just that battles are so much more dynamic in Elden Ring that you don't find two opponents that are, like, strafing next to each other without doing anything. That just never happens, almost. But I'm surprised he got it. He probably got it by accident. He probably just happened to attack at the same time that we did that, whereas I went for it. But yeah, it basically nullified each other. I feel like this might be a play for me. This? Oh, okay. Okay, the host is down there, actually. Hurry up and kill that guy if we have time. Okay, there should be a blue somewhere here. I definitely don't want to go down there. Because if I go down there, I'm gonna be stuck. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't see him. Hopefully he can't see me through the door. Is the host down there? I can't actually see if the host is down here. I mean, he must be, right? Or is he at the start? Well, another blue. Oh, wow, that extra reach there. Okay, he was at the start. Okay. These blues coming fast. One thing's for sure, it feels easy to catch panic rolls with these double spear. That's what I'm noticing. I'm actually surprised at like how effective this seems to be at like a lot of invasions. Sorry, a lot of situations you find yourself in invasions. It feels like the range of these spikes really comes in handy. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised by it, but because I never use it, I'm still surprised. Like, it feels easy to roll catch people with it. Because I know that these weapons are reactable, right? But when you're fighting people that panic roll, you know, you could technically catch them with almost anything. So some weapons become easier to capitalize on whatever. That is not what I wanted. He doesn't deserve that. It's because I don't have my inventory set up the way I want it. Just forced to swap there. Okay, there you go. What do I do here? Fuck it, 2 TS. My volume is not high enough, like I can't hear the projectiles. They're also sticking right next to each other. If it's just a dead world and we don't get a teammate, like, this is basically pointless. Why do you have that? For PvE? This is the weapon I beat Radon with. If I have to fight Radon, I still have my Endure Great Star, bro. That's why I have that. Good question, though. Okay, there you go. We did get a teammate. Now we just need to group up with them. I mean, they never leave each other. Like, the thing with these gankers, like, they're always licking each other, like, all the time. Oh, this guy's clueless. He might even attack me. Yeah, he's an idiot. Okay, I mean, this is pointless. We're just gonna have to wait forever. I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like, I miss like the Dark Souls 3 invasions with shitters where we had options. Like, we could actually do something. Like, here in Elden Ring, like, I've played enough of those that I know it's pointless. Like, I'm just gonna get chased down, like, forever. And it's just gonna end me in getting blendered, whereas there's no play available. It's just, like, really painful, really. It's completely pointless. If they have, like, a cleared world like that, and you're not getting a teammate, like, this guy was pretty much against us, it made it a 3v1. There's no point in playing that. You can't do anything. And that's on FromSoft, really, because we didn't have that problem in previous games, because you could actually... You could get a teammate every time. Now, to these guys' credit, they had the tongue on. But, I mean, we got a teammate that basically tried to kill us, so... Makes it a 3v1, so that's pointless. We could probably survive long enough to get a proper teammate. But, I mean, by that time, might as well, like, reinvade them at some point. Usually the only people that are disappointed when I do that are people that just want to see me dying. They want to see me fail. Usually those are the only people that are disappointed. Hey, that Elden Ring gankers, call you pussy for not fighting outnumbered 4-player brain rot. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I don't really give a shit about anything about this game. Like, I just do whatever I want. Like, this game to me is not very compelling at the end of the day, so... I don't hold this game like to high standards, high regard, or anything like that. Okay, if this guy is AFK though, if this guy is AFK, we're gonna send him somewhere. Oh, he's there, god damn it. Good fight. He was not really AFK. Why do you play the PS4 version? Because the PS4 version is just better for this game. You get better frame rate with the PS4 version than the PS5 version. It's really that simple. But like playing the PS4 version on PS5 is technically like the best way to play this game. And you know what else is funny and so sad, guys? Dude, the PS5 Pro... You know, the PS5 Pro has been out for a while now, right? I've seen some testing of the PS5 Pro, and unless the PS5 Pro allows you to get, like, higher frame rate, the PS5 Pro has more input lag than the base PS5. So if you're playing a game at 60 FPS on normal PS5, you have a better experience than a game at 60 FPS on PS5 Pro. How sad is that? I'm so happy I didn't get one. Like, that is so sad. So basically, the only way the PS5 Pro is better is if, like, let's say you're playing fucking Call of Duty at, like, 100 FPS on PS5, and, like, with the Pro, you get, like, a steady 120 FPS. So those, like, extra frames compensate for the extra input lag. have no idea where to go here. Wait a second. I still don't know where to go. Oh, now I remember. The first dungeon. Or is it? Bro, what are we doing here? No, it's not the first dungeon. It's a labyrinth. Well, I don't know where we are. Fuck it, it's just... to give up. The instant give up. Okay, there's a question. You're a pretty smart guy. I'm sure you would be able to have another source of revenue content on YouTube. Why torture yourself with this game? You don't care about it. I mean, part of it, I'm pretty sure that's a genuine question, but I think it's a little naive question because it doesn't matter if you're smart or not. You know, maybe some channels on YouTube would have you believe that it's easy to make it on YouTube, or like it's easy to get popular in the niche or something like that. It's not, and there's a lot of work and effort that goes into that. I developed my channel around a certain niche. I cannot really deviate from it all that much, and it is what it is. Now, as far as the why I'm still going with this game, the amount of effort that requires me to play this game is outweighed by the revenue I get for the channel. So basically, like, if I compare that to any other job that's out there, it's way less painful to play this shitty game than to be doing something else. Now, it's not to say that this is the only thing I'm doing. I have other sources of revenue and other jobs, but that's why I'm still going, basically, to answer your question. Why don't you make thirst trap TikTok vids? You're a smart guy. Shut up, Mongus. You could, yeah, right? I could make my own crypto, sell it to the whole audience, and become the fucking villain for the community that everyone has always wanted me to become. No, that's an option. You're a pretty smart guy, you know, I'm sure you could do that. That's actually so funny, man. Okay, let's see here. What do I want here? Let's go with this. This setup should be alright. Have to be careful to not get spell spammed. Not my turn yet, guys. Oh, that was a good fucking jump attack too, man. This whole fucking spell spam is actually so bullshit. Here we go. Wait, what the fuck just happened there? I think there was another one with them. Alright. Oh wow, that latency. There you go. Rusty Freya. Remember you told something like, when the last patch for Elden Ring, I'll play seamless. Yeah, I always said that I'm not against playing seamless. It's just the only thing the only reason why I'm not playing Seamless right now is that if I play Seamless, it's going to be for duels. Because quite frankly, like invasion-wise, there doesn't seem to be like anything interesting for Seamless invasions that would make it like better than play PS5, right? Like PS5 invasion seems a lot better than Seamless invasion when I look at people that are playing Seamless, like just chasing people on horseback and shit. That doesn't look very appealing, and you don't really see people get these nice invasions where it's like an all-out war with good players like fighting each other, unless it's like basically set up like it's like people from chat playing other people. You know what I mean, right? You don't get like good organic invasion. So if I switch to Seamless, it's going to be for the dueling side. Now the only problem is I actually don't care about this game. So like, it's not like with Dark Souls 3, like I'd play every day, I'd try like everything to be the best, always thinking about like how I could improve everything like that. Now it's really not the case. So the way I see it is like, for now, this is just tedious for me to have to set up everything on Seamless and have to play there with a rule set that I quite frankly don't agree with, playing with really like a subset of the game that's not even as good as the game. Like I'm not really interested in that right now. If I ever get like more interested in dueling, I'm pretty sure that the better players are on PC, to be quite honest. Like you know, I'm still good enough to realize like where the competition is at. But I don't care, quite frankly. I just don't care. Like I said, like to me, Elden Ring is just a job until the next Souls game that hopefully sparks that that passion for Souls game again. But until then, like my incentive is just not there. That's the truth. And keep in mind, like, when Elden Ring came out, I was actually supposed to mainly play on PC. The reason why I ended up only playing on console was that when Elden Ring came out, I basically kept crashing every 10 minutes on the PC version. And so I got frustrated and tired, and I said, you know what, fuck this game. And I just went to console and never came back. So I technically own Elden Ring on PC. I just never played more than 10 minutes when the game launched because it just kept fucking disconnecting. Or not disconnecting, it just kept crashing every 10 minutes. But I was about to say that's also aside from, you know, the 2-minute disconnect bug that plagued PC when the game launched, which made me like not inclined to ever really come to PC. And you know, I understand there's probably a lot of PC players that like to play against me, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not missing out on anything. Like, I can play well if I want to. Most of the time I just play brain dead. Not because I don't want to play well, but just because this game does not like catch me as much as I would like to. Just don't like this game all that much. That's all there is to it. Yo, what a kill though! That was sick, guys. Come on, that was fucking sick. That was a nice kill right there. It was actually so clutch, what the fuck? Dude, that was one of those rare kills where I'm actually like, I feel like that was a good kill. Like the quick thinking, you know, just toggle to the harpoon real quick across the map, like max range. That was pretty nice. Did a good decision by choosing to stay on console over PC, to be honest, at least for the invasion perspective. If I ever get that itch, you know, to get more like into the tournament scene, I'd definitely be switching to PC because, you know, like, who would you beat on fucking console? Like aside from Luber, like in the competitive scene, like who are there? Like Omega with a shit net, like to be honest, like the competitive scene here on PlayStation is kind of sad if I'm being completely honest. Or like what, Wetnake with fucking, you know, other shit net, like that's definitely not a good incentive to ever play competitive. If there's anyone on PlayStation that wants to play there, it's like look at who you have to play against. It's like, yeah. Like, I'll pass, like, no thanks. Like, They're not gonna beat you because they're better. They're just gonna beat you because their net's dog shit. Like, no one wants that. Whereas with what they have going on PC, like, at least they fucking separate, like, you know, the regions. You know, they have tournament for like EU and tournament for NA, that type of stuff. That's how it should be, really. But I don't think on PlayStation they can do something like that, like the people that organize stuff here, because I don't think there's enough players. I mean, to be quite honest, I find it kind of funny how, like, there's still tryhards that are clinging to the dueling scene for this game, and it's so fucking small and dead. Even to the standard of Souls game, Elden Ring is such a failure for the dueling scene. Like, genuinely, like, you know, the den maps are great, and, you know, like, good organizers and everything, but man, there's so little people that care that are playing. It's really sad, honestly. Like, it's really fucking sad. Like, you know, you have to keep in mind, like, my background, you know, people know me because, you know, I was best at Dark Souls 3 and won tourneys there, but my background is fucking playing Rainbow Six Vegas 2 competitively, like actual championship with real money on the line, right? I'm used to actual good competitive games, so I was willing to, like, take a hit there with, like, Dark Souls 3 and it not being, like, you know, that competitive compared to it. But man, Elden Ring is an even more downgrade to that, which is kind of crazy. This guy has high lat. Let's change it up here. Use that, and then we can use Crusher maybe. There you go. Or actually better than Crusher, because this guy has high lat. Let's use this. Okay, there you go. Oh, we got a blue to deal with now, though. And now I'm gonna be focusing on the gameplay, actually. This guy is just being a booger. Yeah, the double rolls, dude. Alright, oh, now there's a third blue here. Alright. I can't jump directly there. Trying to find an opportunity where I can kill the blue cleanly, because it's gonna take too long to kill the host. I go for him right away because his net's too shit. Wow, he can tank a fucking jump R2 from a Colossal? It's kind of insane. Okay, there you go. Don't know where the other... Oh, I think I saw the other blue. We just want to get ghost hits, because we can't roll catch this, guys, and that's just not good enough. Hit me there. The fuck? Not really sure what hit me. I mean, the host got saved, though, to be fair. I don't think they deserve that. I think there might have been some lag at the end there, because we rolled away, right? We rolled away even though, like, they blendered us for a lot. We rolled away, we should have been out of whatever attack killed us. Is Elden Ring Nightreign on PC worst? I don't know. I'm playing Nightreign on PC. I mean, I always try to get games on PC first. Like, I have a really good PC. My PC is a 4090 I fucking love my machine. And it runs software like a bliss. Like, I just love my machine. It's just such a great PC. And unfortunately though, with a lot of games, man, like these devs kind of suck. Like, a lot of games released on PC run like dog shit. Like, for instance, when Nightreign came out, I spent 2 hours trying to trying to figure out like why I couldn't launch the game. And it was because Easy Anti-Cheat did not like that I was using a software called Process Lasso. And the reason why I'm using a software that's called why I'm using Process Lasso is that it allows me to set which CPU cores are used for which application, basically optimizing multitasking. And it's perfect for me who's like using OBS and using multi-software a lot. So I use that to optimize my work. And Easy Anti-Cheat didn't like that. Even when I turned the software off, it would basically not allow me to launch the game. And so it took me a while to figure that out, because even with the software off, it still wasn't working. That being said, I also had a lot of crashes in Nightreign. And now it's fixed. The reason why I had a lot of crashes, it was fucking NVIDIA drivers, man. I had the latest NVIDIA drivers, and I kept getting crashes, and I rolled back the drivers, and now I'm not getting crashes anymore. So right now I have no issues with Nightreign. It runs super smoothly, but it was not painless to get that working. Oh, I didn't hit that. I didn't think he would do a fucking fully charged attack there. Okay, this guy might catch a stray bullet there. Oh, that was not intentional. That teammate is lagging. It's gonna be aimed at me. No. Pretty much like teammate did absolutely nothing there. Yeah, basically a nuisance. Why is the teammate shooting at the wall? Yeah. Do you think Elden Ring added a lot to the combat with the jump and crouches, etc., disregarding the unbalanced weapon, ashes, everything like that? Yeah, I always say that, right? Like, as much as I think Dark Souls 3 was probably a little more skillful, the addition to the combat that they made with the crouching and the jumping just make the game, like the base game combat, far better than the other Souls game. Like, if I'm being completely honest, like, these combat mechanics are better than the other Souls game. It's just unfortunate that you have to deal with, like, stuff like crazy overtuned hyper armor, like losing fucking... Oh my god. Oh, shit. Bro, our HP bar fucking vanished because of spell spam. That's fucked up, man. Alright, let me just focus on this real quick. Don't want to... Not my turn yet, though. Bro, these fucking guys. I don't think the Crusher is the weapon for this. You know what? Let's try Dueling Shield. I think Dueling Shield could be nice here. Yeah, I can't commit to anything. Not with this guy spamming at me. Okay, we need to focus on this guy. Need to kill the host first, basically. Guys, it's time. Oh, that was joystick slip right there. Finally! Kill this guy now. Dude, we almost lost that. We survived by like just an inch. An inch of an L bar, not even. Like a tiny beady centimeter. I'll never forget the comment of someone saying Elden Ring feels like the turn-based RPG and it's never your turn. Yeah. That's actually so funny. Yeah, to go back to our topic, like, you know, a lot of the base Elden Ring combat mechanics, which to be fair from a game development perspective, a design perspective, this is the stuff that's hard to get right. A lot of that is done right in this game. Problem is, like, losing priority after you land a hit with a lot of attacks and a lot of weapons. Like, not even a lot of weapons, with most attacks, right? Because even weapons that don't lose priority, it's only a few attacks that don't lose priority. A lot of attacks lose priority. That's partly due to their shitty poise system that they really botched, like, really fucking bad in this game. Like, for the most part, all of that is just so half-assed and so done poorly that it takes away a lot from the game. Like, for instance, you could be attacking someone with any weapon, and then you're fighting a greatsword. That greatsword can just R2 out of its stun, and there's very little weapons that are able, and very little attacks too, that would be able to keep priority there. That's how sad this is. And so it does not promote aggressive playstyle. It just promotes, like, I attack you, you attack me. And it doesn't reward you for getting the first hit. Because, like, for instance, even with something as powerful as a trusting sword with, like, BHS, for instance, right? You attack someone, you do 2 R1s with a trusting sword. What can the opponent do to take all that damage away even though you got the first hit? They can just do a flame strike out of its stun, and then that's it. They mix up either attacking you out of its stun or flame strike out of its stun, and it just, like, so easily, like, just completely counteracts, like, the dynamic of the person who got the first hit and the person who basically had, like, superior neutral spacing. It just completely counters that. With zero skills, really, it's just gimmicks, and because you lose priority. So even weapons that quote-unquote would be too strong without it, the fights are completely lopsided in a lot of situations just because of that. And by the way, if you're having trouble fighting BHS, Flame Strike is your best friend. what's up, Kiminator? How are you doing, man? From a 2-hit true combo to being punished for landing a hit. It's funny because you say that, like, almost ironically, but you're right, yeah. I mean, you know you're right, but that's what's crazy. Oh, wow, how did that hit me? We were nowhere near it. Well, I guess I don't even need to be here. Has the activity been good? I would say so. Like, the first week after Nightreign launch, it was dead. Now it's been picking back up, I would say. Is there better settings for crouching better? Yes, and I'm not using it, but you should. If you can get used to a different controller layout, you definitely should. My problem is, like, I'm too deep into the game now to, like, relearn something, right? So I crouch with... I have the base controller layout, the one that they give you when you first boot the game. But if you can have it differently, if you want to learn something else, yes. You'd be way better off crouching with, like, fucking X or something like that. Like, crouching with X and then having your jump be, like, triangle, something like that. And then, like, your switching weapon could even be put on, like, something else. Like, redoing your layout to something that feels better to you would definitely be recommended. Or, like, some people, yeah, some people do crouch on triangle and, like, jump on the joystick. Whatever feels right to you. Like, personally, I would probably do something that's a little kind of counterintuitive. I'd probably put, like, the interact button on the crouch if I was to do it, but I'm not really sure about that, and I have to chill. Alright. Oh, there's some lat there. Okay, you're with you, an old wolf doesn't learn new tricks. It's definitely hard to break old habits. Especially since, you know, we've been, for the most part, using a lot of these buttons for a very long time. But like, as a rule of thumb, if you're playing a new game for the first time, it's a good idea to look at the control layout, think about it, and, like, think of, like, is this really the best for this game? Or would there be a better way to, like, move the buttons around, basically, right? It's a good idea to do that for every game. Like, I have a story about, like, just using a different control layout that basically made me, like, a really good... Like, it made me go up, let's say, like, one tier of player, like, as far as skills goes, just by changing the control layouts. And it was with Armored Core Verdict Day. Like, I used to use, like, the base layout for Armored Core, and then when I kind of played around with different layouts, I switched to one where I basically could fly around and use all the fly controls while attacking, like, while not moving my fingers, and it instantly made me, like, compete with the best players there. Like, basically, like, there was a guy that was first on the leaderboard, which... To be honest, like, just a little parenthesis, in Armored Core Verdict Day, you cannot get lucky. Like, it's not like AC6, where AC6 is just a complete joke PvP-wise. Like, Verdict Day was pure skills, And there was no way you were going to get lucky against someone better than you. Like, the better player pretty much always won in Armored Core. So it was a very, like, competitive game from a mechanical standpoint. And just to give you an idea, the #1 guy on the leaderboard, I'd played him numerous times and I was never able to beat him until I changed my controller layout. Then, you know, I started to trade wins with him. And just because of that, like, I'd say he was still a little bit better than me. But, like, you know, just being able to, like, compete at that level just from changing buttons is crazy, right? That's crazy. And obviously that's going to differ from game to game, but never underestimate how much of a difference just having your button placement be well, like, you know, well organized can make for the outcome of your gameplay. That's basically the moral of the story there. I actually meant to do that, but I thought he would get stunned on the... I did not mean to do that. Dude, how many katana hits is that fucking guaranteed there? Holy shit. There you go. Armored Core reverse grip. That reverse grip is a meme, by the way. It's just... It's a meme because there's a lot of buttons that you need to press, basically. It was never a thing. That whole thing was a meme. You don't understand why For Honor doesn't have spacing? It doesn't. It's as simple as that. Like, what happens with For Honor is that you have what's called like a magnet effect, which means that, you know, your opponent, like, let's say this Grace here is my opponent, right? Like, in Souls game, my running attack always has the exact same length, no matter what. What happens in For Honor is that your length will change depending on your own distance. So if I attack from here, my running attack will basically travel me all the way here. And if I attack from close, it will attack still on target right here. So, like, the distance for your attacks, like the max distance where that magnet effect takes place, basically makes it so that spacing become almost pretty much irrelevant. So that's why For Honor doesn't have, like, spacing, basically. And, you know, you could be the most die-hard, like, For Honor fan. There's no denying reality. That's just how it is, you know. And I don't, you know, say that, like, out of my ass. Like, when For Honor came out, I won 5 Major League Gaming tournaments on For Honor when it came out. I was basically like I was part of the best early adopters for the game, right? The people who were best at the game when the game released. I was part of that group. Now I don't play or care about it anymore, but like, that fact still stands. It is what it is. Now, I'm not saying For Honor is a bad game. I actually think For Honor did a lot of, like, new things fucking amazing. And I wish this would be developed further. Like, you know, this whole, like, whole idea for Honor. I wish it would develop, like, further than that. Instead of just, like, it's definitely more, like, closer to, let's say, a fighting game the way it is now. But I'd like to have, like, this sort of combat branch out into, like, more of the RPG side where you make builds with that too. Like, instead of just playing set characters, where you have spacing as well. A little bit more freedom of movement when you fight, instead of you know, mostly relying on the hard lock. Because, you know, like I said, very good, like, really good game, especially for an experimental game, because that's what For Honor is. It was an experiment. Nothing really like it had been done before. So it's like, you know, when people try to criticize, like, Dark Souls 1 or Demon's Souls, like, yeah, sure, you can find flaws in that game, or in these games, but you have to start somewhere. And to me, that's how I see, like, For Honor. For Honor definitely had flaws, but they you know, I don't play anymore, but from what I heard, like, they fixed a lot of it, improved a lot of things. But it would be hard to criticize For Honor heavily because it's really the first at doing this sort of gameplay, right? So you have to respect that. But with that being said, there is no spacing. To answer your question. It's just how it is. Oh, thank you, Wolfie. Oh yeah, Rakshasa, attack out of its stun. Okay, you know what? One thing that's really nice against Rakshasa is that I think this should stun it, right? Actually didn't see him attacking with my big hammer in the way. Tracking there. Save me a hit. Probably not gonna kill. I missed that. It's my fault. That's what happens, man. When you're fighting two people, you can outplay them as many times as you want, but hard to get the finisher. Because you're gonna get punished by the guy you're not outspacing. Like, you can't attack both of them at the same time all the time. Like, in this particular invasion, like, we outplayed them, like, extremely heavily. Yet we still lost. For all Souls game, best sensitivity is maxed. Yeah, because it only controls the camera. Although, to be fair, if you're trying to aim with like a great bow, the max sensitivity is pretty annoying. Like, if you've played any shooters like more seriously, you'd know that on controllers, like all the pro players like use low sensitivity, and so you really only see like the flashy stuff done at max sensitivity, right? And it's the same thing here, right? If you're trying to hit shots with great bow, you'd technically be better off with low sensitivity. But however, because it's not the main part of the game, you're gonna be way better off being able to turn around quick to see behind you, as opposed to being able to like hit your target with the bow like more reliably. Depends for what game. Honestly, Vale, if you can name me one competitive game played with controller, where the pro players play at high sensitivity, most of them, I'll give it to you, but I can't think of any, to be quite honest. We're talking about shooting games though, right? Fortnite requires high sensitivity on controller. Well, there you go. I never played Fortnite, really. No, Call of Duty is not a good answer, though. Like, the COD pros that play Apex either. Same thing. The people that you see, like, obviously it's always personal preference, but most of the top players in those games are playing on lower sensitivity. Fortnite I could see, though, for the building, but Call of Duty is actually not a good example. Neither is Apex. For mouse and keyboard, sure. Not with controller, though. Most of the COD pros like high sensitivity. I'm pretty sure if you look up, I think there's some sheets online, like there's some nerds out there that pretty much like keep track of what all the pros use and all their settings and everything. Pretty sure you'd find that most of them use low sensitivity, just like Scumpy, which is also the best one, by the way. Yo, that was nice. We landed that flip. Rare fucking R2 finish. Alright, listen, Dale. I have some of my friends, okay, who actually, like, still play COD, like, competitively, like, are in the pro scene. Like, some that have won, like, a lot of, like, high-profile tournaments and stuff like that. I don't talk to them anymore, but... a lot of that, like, a lot of tech in games like that, it's not the all and be-all. You don't play COD competitively, dude. Like, you're not part of these fucking $1,000 championships, like, winning, like, you know, these big esports event. Those are the people I'm talking about, not, like, you know, the average player who decides to pick up, like, any game who calls themselves a pro. Like, I'm talking about the real top players. The ones who win the event. The ones who play in these top 8. I'll stand on that, dude. Like in Call of Duty, the top players play at low sens. I'll double down on that. You're wrong on this one. You know the reason why if you try to jump Moonveil vertical, you get about 60 damage? I'm sure there's like a logical reason with the bullet hitbox and everything, but other than that, no, I don't really know why it does that. But yeah, it does do that. Guess only if the sword hits you. I don't know, because normally the sword would do more than that. So I don't actually know, like, what's going on. That's more on you for not remembering what you said. I actually have no idea what you're talking about. Lock-on doesn't want to cooperate. Oh, that's because he has the thing, that's why. I was about to say, why do I keep locking onto the host? That's because he did the lock-on thing, that's why. Kind of funny. Canuck, would you be down for some Nightreign? Mungus, you need to get a good PC to play with us, man. Yeah? Alright. I'll probably end the stream there then. I'm gonna end the stream, I'm gonna like grab a bite and boot up Nightreign. Still can't believe I got Nightreign on PC. What do you mean, dude? I said it like in advance, like multiple times that I was probably gonna get it on PC. It's not like I didn't like say it beforehand. I said it multiple times that I was likely gonna get it on PC. Oops, I mean to invade there. Your memory sucks. I mean, maybe you were not there, you know. Also, Mungus, like, you're not gonna get away from this. Like, we were talking about how you almost pooped your pants today. And this is still an important topic that needs to be talked about further. So don't think you're gonna get away from it. Okay, I tried to be cute again with that R2. Didn't work. There's a lingering odor, but no skid marks, so you think you're good? Bro, there's no lingering odor, you're just trying to be funny. Made a few customers uncomfortable though? No way, dude. You have to be kidding me, man. Fucking Mungus, dude. Does the R2 have as good eye armor? It's just a meme. Like, if you see me throwing that R2, like, know that I'm not playing optimally in any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to land that because it's funny. It's a bad attack. Don't use it. Also, your take about Denmaps players are not exactly true. Most PC Denmaps tryhard can't play if they are not in perfectly flat box. If you might fight them in some uncomfortable places, they're mediocre. I mean, I don't know about that. Like, I feel like that's a bit of a broad stroke. Like, you know, I can see what you mean though. Like, I see what you mean because if you always play in like perfect areas, you start to rely on the fact that you can corner pressure. Whereas in the base game, that basically never happens. Like, there's no corner pressure in the real game. Whether it's the normal arena or the fucking, you know, any empty spot in the open world, there's like no place in the actual game where you can corner pressure. It's all open. So yeah, I see what you mean there. But as a rule of thumb, I'm sure that the players who fight in Den maps are probably better in general because of the level of competition. That's my takeaway there. Yo, Steel, thanks for the gifted subs. Holy shit, man. Thank you so much, bro. God damn it. Trying to land the flip too much. There you go. We got it. Thanks, Steel. I really appreciate that. There's a sale per sub, so you'd be losing money if you did it. Well, thanks for that. I appreciate it, man. Alright, guys. Last one, and then I'm gonna hop off and play some Nightreign off stream. Actually, enjoying myself playing a PvE game. What do we have here? A fight of the century. Okay. Alright, buddy. Let's do this. I guess I kill the Phantom next. Oh! He wants to go first. God damn it, tracking. Oh. Oh, little saved by VHS for a split second. Thing with players like that, it's best to just play a simple game with no mix-up. Because whatever they're doing, they're gonna attack randomly, and sometimes their panic roll also is pretty random, because they're out of stam when they panic roll. Although I could have timed my roll catches better, though, for this one. Alright, guys. Thanks, everyone, for coming by again. Really appreciate it, and, I'll catch you guys up next time. Hopefully, enjoyed today's stream. Alright, let's see here. Do we have anyone streaming? Let's see. Okay, you got Dante, Gopher, Swoosh. What is everyone doing? Swoosh in the arena. Dante's 2v2s. As soon as I fucking go on his stream, I don't understand. Alright, let's raid Dante, man. Can't go wrong with Dante. Raid the OG. Alright, guys. I don't understand. Fucking Dante, man. Alright, guys, if you wanted to do some twos, there you go. Sending you over to Dante. Enjoy, guys. Take it easy, everyone.